Alright, so these folks calling themselves the Villains Crime. Well, so far I'm not too impressed with them. They do try to come across as nice. I'm gonna make this video specifically about what I'm having to deal with now over the Natalie Bollinger case, and also them not coming through. See, I can't function because I don't have anyone who's listening with the intention of helping. What I have is people who care about quote-unquote Natalie's story, but none of them actually care about Natalie's story. They care about the attention that they receive for doing so. And in most cases, the profits they're making from doing so. And I can give you many, many examples from Mike Boudet, Sword and Scale, episodes 109 and 110, on forward to A&E, Murder in the 21st, Season 1, Episode 1, and even more since then. Well, I've spent 9 years posting up evidence, actual evidence of the abuse and the harassment and the threats and the assaults, to the best of my abilities, having to learn how to do this stuff a little bit at a time all along the way. And I don't trust people who want to hide their names, phone numbers, and addresses. That makes it so that you get to meddle in affairs of others and possibly do irreparable damage to those people's lives with no repercussions. When I did the Mike Boudet thing, and I had to talk to his friend Josh, who was supposedly gonna record the whole thing and send it to the police at my request. That was part of the deal. Instead, they chopped it up into little bits and pieces and just took little bits and pieces of what I said to try to paint me as a horrible person. And you want to pretend that people wouldn't harass an innocent person over this. But this harassment hasn't stopped. The assaults haven't stopped. The threats haven't stopped. Before I started this video, I got to hear what sounded like Andrew Wolnaz, who I have a permanent protection order against here in Tillamook, yelling at the house, "Fuck you." Now, there's a permanent protection order against that man. Is this something that these quote-unquote the villains crime people are actually going to care about? Well, I would hope so. Now let's start off with something unrelated. We'll press play on this, just because this is a terrible take.
Angle I haven't heard before. I don't want to hear anything about his orange skin or his hands or whatever. Now everyone's also like, everyone likes to use the excuse, I was just joking. And I'm like, no. We were joking. We are the comedians. If you're going to say you're just joking, then you better do bar shows and open mics for several years. And then...
Now what a nutty take on things. How dare you make a joke unless you've been going to bars and shows for years? No, sorry. I know plenty of people who are funny and plenty of people who are just joking. Plenty of people who make jokes. Don't go running around to places like that. Now that's obviously not what the video is about, is it? What the video is about is this right here. Evidence and screenshots of the situation with Natalie. Hundreds of them. It's not just with Natalie either. Let's see who this one's with. I'm sure it'll say. Takes a second to get it up and going, but that's alright. I can fill that time with speaking. Let me tell you about the help that I got today. So, these folks at the Villains Crime, they've typed real nice. They don't want to do it via telephone, obviously. I don't have an address for them. All I have is an email address. So I sent that file there to them, and also to a lady who's been promising to help me for a lot of years. But every time that it's time for her to come through and keep her word, she's always sick. Something's always happening. This is from Cara Rogers. This is actually about Mike Boudet. Let's see, and I just found out Jerry was friends with a fake me since December. Yeah, so people were making fake accounts to harass me. This Cara Rogers lady, aka Cara Mia, there's a lot in here with her, and she did not care about the law at all. She was interested in meddling and playing head games, and just wasn't cool. So Cara typed back at me, I was being harassed by a guy named Mike Boudet. He wanted me to do an interview for his podcast, but he is known to turn it around on people. He was actually trying to blackmail me, so I'm off Facebook. So this lady also made several recordings with me talking to important government officials, and that evidence is important. However, Cara Rogers, aka Cara Mia, destroyed that evidence. She destroyed that evidence over a situation where she didn't bother to find out what was going on. She also created a, what do you call that? A GoFundMe that people actually still bring up and threaten me about to this day. And the same thing with Candace Dale. These stories are very tightly intertwined. Right after Natalie disappeared, there was a situation where I had to stay with a guy who was just all messed up on drugs. So I was able to get to Candace's only after being assaulted by the cops. I had to stay at Candace's in Haxton, Colorado because of the assault by Officer Waylon Molotai, because they were trying to frame me as a violent schizophrenic. It's common. If they can't find the killer, they just blame a hobo. There's a lot of this. So Mike Boudet also has a long history of blackmailing people. Here's one about Cara Mia. This is around the time that I was speaking out about the abuse from the deputies in Haxton. Candace was telling me that she was afraid for her children. She was being threatened with eviction just because I was there. Anyway, this person, Charlie, was one of the people who wrote here, please accept my friend request. Then a few days later, he wrote, Sean, Cara Mia has deleted everyone that supports you from the support group, and she has said some very nasty things on that group about you. Please tell me your side and I'll post it for you. She screenshots all of your messages to Candace and she posted them. Well, no, she didn't. Because Candace didn't screenshot all of the messages between her and I. What she screenshotted is the part where I was pissed off because she lied to me. And her lies resulted in multiple people being harmed, but Candace didn't care. And then later down here, he wrote, I deleted myself from your friends because of the harassment from people. Of course, nobody wants to look at that. Certainly not mandatory reporters. This is right after Natalie disappeared. This is before they found Natalie's killer. That guy, Andrew, who I got a permanent protection order, who sounded to me like his voice went by the house here and was yelling at it. He's not allowed anywhere near me, but he does it anyway. Now you can see these things are very... Oh, here's Candace. Hey, so I'm going to need you to brainstorm on somewhere to go. Cops were sitting outside my house this morning when I took the girls to school, then came to my work. My landlord is pissed. I have 3 days to take you somewhere or pack my shit. I work tomorrow and the weather is supposed to get shitty here Sunday, so that basically leaves us this afternoon. Do you have any resources outside of Boulder? And no, I didn't. Anyway, she went into detail a bit further too. Some in typing and some in speaking. There were also a lot of people who were getting a hold of me to threaten my friends and family. But this is one of the over 600 pictures just in this file set alone. And most of them are the messages between me and Natalie Bollinger. There's also stuff between me and Rochelle Shelley Campbell. There's also stuff with, oh, here's some more. I typed to her, see, this is why I'm in a constant state of fucking panic. I did nothing wrong. She typed, nobody is saying you did anything wrong. Part of the issue stems from having the cops at my house yesterday. I can't control that. They were sitting outside first thing this morning and came to my work. I can't have that. Now, by law, I was a person that they should have come to speak with, not Candace. They had no interest in doing the right thing. Why did I have to call the cops? Because Shelley pocket dialed me. And we got evidence of that in this file too. This one right here, this is December 9th of 2016. This is after I'd literally gone to every service in Colorado and Nebraska that I was sent to try to get help stopping the abuse. Let's see if we can zoom in on it a bit. Now, obviously, I don't have that phone number anymore. I wrote to her, hi, I don't know if you are Natalie and Alicia's mom, but if you are, I'm the autistic homeless guy who was honking like an idiot last year in front of your house. I'm sorry it was taken how it was by all of us. See, I was trying to take blame for things that had nothing to do with me. None of that was a choice that I made. It was a bunch of screwed up circumstances. Anyway, it says, I'm sorry it was taken how it was by all of us. I would like for you to call me. I have no intention of harming anyone, ever. My number is, and I told her my number, and I wrote, if you aren't their mom, please get my number to their mom. If you are their mom, people have assaulted me over it and threatened my life. And after that, I sent some mean texts because they called me a rapist and a child molester, and I never did either to your daughters. Please help. Now, is that me threatening her life? Is that me threatening to harm her? Absolutely not. I was reaching out for help with my quote-unquote friends and families being drug addicts. What was I supposed to do? Let's see. So there was a lot of people who were contacting me right after Natalie died. Now they get a hold of me either when Alicia Bollinger goes missing again. I can usually tell that one of these popular true crime shows has made a Natalie Bollinger post, or Alicia Bollinger has gone missing, because I get a massive influx of people threatening to harm me and my friends and family again. Every time Alicia has gone missing, it has been the same thing. It has always been meth related. Every time. When she was in jail in Arapahoe County for meth charges, people are threatening to kill me and my friends and family, and one of Natalie's ex-stepmothers got a hold of me to ask me to help find her. And just like when Natalie disappeared, despite everything that Natalie and Alicia had done to me, I made a missing persons post. Well, Alicia did that 3 times. But what I really want to get into, because I've sent all of these to these people. I mean, this might be another one from Candace, might be Shelly. Screw it, it don't matter. I believe there's also some in here from the Autism Society of Nebraska. And I should be able to figure out which ones those are when we come up on them. Oh, here's the ones from Natalie. Sorry. Here's some down at the bottom where she was sending me pictures of her leg. Like I said, there's a lot here. Now, the stuff from the Autism Society. Oh, these are the ones with, I believe, Danica. So we'll show some of those. Oh, this is Shelly. She typed, "Good luck, Natalie is my kiddo, and no rock will go unturned to find out who and why." That's bullshit. She typed, "I promised them all that." Yeah, well, you fucking lied to them out your ass, lady. "I promised my kiddos very little." Well, she's a fucking junkie, so at least they're used to it. Now, at this point in time, of course, I typed "I love you" to her too. At this point in time, I thought she was a loving, caring person who actually gave a shit, was actually trying to do the right thing. She didn't look at the evidence that I sent to her. She didn't care. What she was interested in doing was creating a situation where they could fuck with me, where they could promise me they were going to help me, and then them and the friends that they claimed were going to help me, like the quote-unquote autism advocate, who later on wanted to claim that me and Natalie dated. Yeah, she was able to put that stuff in my court all the way from Texas. She was able to have that put in my court stuff in Colorado. These people played victim. They weren't victims. They played victim because they didn't want to get in trouble. They also, as you can see, the whole, "Oh, my kids, my kids, my kids." The number one way to tell a woman is lying is the moment she starts talking about her kids. Once she invokes her kids, that's like them wannabe Christians wanting to swear to God, swear on Jesus' name, or swear on their mama's grave, and so on and so forth. Let's see. Shelly had also told me I should write it out, and I was trying that. She typed, "Okay, thank you." I get confused. Well, she does get confused. And of course, yeah, there's a lot of messages. I was trying to work with her. I was trying to make sure the right thing is done. That didn't matter, though. What mattered was that, well, she kept playing connection games. Oh, she couldn't be contacted via the phone because of. And then later on, she wanted to be pissed off at me because I supposedly gave her number out. Well, she told me she didn't have that number anymore. So no, I didn't give her phone number out. And of course, here I'm trying to, get help. Now, it was a very frustrating situation. There was so much going on. There was no way to process it. And then trying to get some sleep, that was one of the most impossible things. Hanging out with people who believe in the party life. And while they're living the party life, it's the butt crack early and they're still partying, except it's not partying anymore. It's the part where they're coming down from whatever they're on and they're fighting with their spouse kind of crap. Anyway, so of course we're trying to talk nicely to each other and trying to work together. A lot of the people out there have nicknames, like, for example, Tinkerbell. Her real name is Ariel. So you might think the Little Mermaid, but no, she was a short, sprightly type filler. So a lot of this, they're decent responses and decent excuses, but the thing is that people were absolutely afraid. The things that she said she wouldn't do, she absolutely did. I mean, it's obviously a situation where I was sending her everything that I possibly could. When these people said that they cared, when they said they wanted to know the truth, well, then why are they looking the other way? Why are they working with other people to lie to me and intentionally misrepresent the situation? Natalie herself said that we never dated. But Shelley, Danica, and Cara Rogers were all working together by their own words. See, Cara Rogers is the one that got me in contact with Danica Garner, one of Natalie's ex-stepmothers. And then Danica Garner is the one who got me in contact with Rochelle Shelley Campbell. And a lot of situations happened with that. Things that should have been monitored. Instead of these people being allowed to repeatedly harm somebody who has PTSD and then get away with it by pretending that that person is schizophrenic and delusional and making all of this up, you can see it's not made up. There's actual evidence. Now, then we've got the villain people, right? We're probably not going to get much into what they've been doing, but we had it set up to at least try at noon today to get in contact with one another the way that they wanted to. And I did try. They changed their minds, but I still tried. I was still ready. I was still on time. I got a bunch of stuff to do next week. Monday, most of the places here that I need to go to are closed. So basically, there's only 4 days next week to work with. They want to basically not doing anything until next week instead of making some attempt to get this thing working. So my